Welcome back.
Back in the saddle.
Again.
Yeah. Back in the saddle. Is there a song like that?
Yes, there is.
What am I thinking of?
The name of the musician escapes me, but Back in the Saddle Again is lyrics from a song.
But it's good to be back in the saddle. As we were talking in the pre-show just before we came on, for the last maybe 4 weeks or so, I was having my nappy about this time.
So that's why you haven't been on the show.
Yeah, no. No, I haven't been on the show because I had total knee replacement, a bunch of other stuff in and around the knee that the doctor fixed and feeling good. And today's kind of like first week back to what I hope will be routine schedule. Aerosmith. Thank you, producer Chris from Cast Ahead. You need any podcasting needs or assistance, it's great to have somebody in your corner, and that's Chris from Cast Ahead. So he's in the show notes if you need to get a hold of him. But
music aficionado. Apparently.
It's good to be back in the saddle. I am missing my nappies. Had a little routine I set up while I was home, and that routine's no more. So I'm adjusting, and I forgot to put the adjustment period in last week. I should have. I should have weaned out instead of going cold turkey.
Right. Weaned yourself off of the naps.
Nappies.
Nappies.
That's right.
All right. Hey, so look, everybody needs nap. Maybe you could tie that into your
no more nappies.
Sleep better tip at the end.
I like it. Anyway, thanks for checking out Lancaster Connects. This is a show about small business, the battle on Main Street, big versus small for both businesses and charities. And we love to host really great charities that are doing good and tremendous work here in the Lancaster community. We believe hosting this show is a good thing because when our community is strong and stronger, ultimately our business is better. And we want to give opportunity to great people helping out our communities. So that's what we're doing today.
We've got a great guest today.
We do have a good guest. But before we get to the guest, how do people get prizes?
Oh,
we're ready to show prizes. I know. You've had a solo show, so I know you've been doing your own thing, but
right. I've been mostly following the script.
Did you throw the prize later out while I was away?
I think there was 1 week that there was. I forget why we didn't spin the prize later. Maybe there was. I don't remember, like one commenter and Chris or something like that. Okay. So that person won, and I think we avoided the prize later. But we've been following the script.
So you get into the prize letter by putting comments up, participating with the show. So you win your choice of nice, less snore, more cuddle drinkware. That's choice 1. Or you can choose an on-the-go bundle, really nice pillow, blanket. I used a pillow like that at home
for your nappy.
For exercises.
That would help. Yeah,
right under the knee, helped with some flexion and other stuff that they made me do that hurt, but I did it anyway.
Yeah. Oh man,
so
rehab
those are your choices.
Long journey, right?
It's
just got to do it.
Like 6 more weeks at least.
Okay.
So anyway.
All right.
But you get in by commenting. We spin the prize later, and then you get to come in and pick your choice of those prizes. So.
Comments could be what you think of the show. It could be a comment for Jeff or I. It could be a question for our guest.
That's right.
We have some questions lined up that we plan to ask our guests, but we always enjoy our listener participation and what they want to hear from our guests. So
that's right.
Don't be shy. Go ahead.
And maybe you're watching and commenting from YouTube. You could be watching or commenting from LinkedIn. Could be from Facebook. You might be listening to this a week later.
That's true.
And
you can't win at that point.
You can't win at that point, right?
Which is why see the comments.
Which is why it pays to watch the show live or comment at some point, but always live. Live guests get to comment and win prizes.
Right.
So that's a little benefit. But we're everywhere and anywhere with the show. If you got an internet connected video player, you can likely pick us up. So without too much further ado,
let's bring on our guest.
That's right.
And friend. There's a +1 on this episode.
Oh, that's right. There is.
There is.
Threw me for a loop there.
This is Jennifer King.
That was the tramadol questioning things.
Jennifer King from United Disabilities Services. How are you, Jennifer?
I'm good. Thanks for having us here with you guys.
Yep. And you say us because there is a +1.
There is.
You can introduce us to her.
Certainly. Nova, come here. Ready? Nova, come say hi. Come. Nova, my lap. Come on. Don't be shy now. Come on. There we go. Ready? My lap.
Our listeners are like,
There
what is
we
Nova?
go. Here
Oh,
she
there's
is.
Nova. Hello.
There's my
Nora or
girl.
Nova?
She's
Nova.
like,
Yeah.
hi guys.
Hi, Nova. See, I love dogs. What a
Yeah.
what a little cutie.
She's the best. Oh, do you see the doggy on there? Okay. And she's going to go finish
And
her
she's
nappy
done.
now.
Oh, did we wake her up? Oh,
Yeah.
She's like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to maybe get all these treats right now. There's the person I'm supposed to help's not here. But
Well, she
anyway,
certainly won't turn them away either.
yeah.
it's true. It's true. Yep.
So we have Jennifer King on. We've shown Nova, the amazing black lab. Why don't you tell our watchers, listeners, viewers what United Disabilities Services does for Lancaster?
UDS does a lot for our residents across the state of Pennsylvania. We have 12 different programs here that we use at UDS. We can help anybody who has a disability or for the aged people to stay in their homes for as long as possible and to live a life as independently as what they can. So that can mean setting up services for meals to be brought in, or it can be setting up our independent living group for a caretaker to come in and take care of some of the things that you and I might take for granted, the everyday things such as brushing your hair, getting dressed, any of your toileting cares, housework. So our ILS program will send a very special person to take care of you. We also have a program here that if you need to have a wheelchair ramp built, they can do that for you.
Oh wow, that's
Our
cool.
home modifications department. One of the other than the service dogs, one of the other favorite programs that I have here is called our custom wheelchair seating, where they will actually take a person and custom make a wheelchair for them. So instead, a lot of people, some of our clients in a standard wheelchair, they need a little bit support here or there so that they can sit up straight. So instead of being bent over in their wheelchairs, they're sitting up straight, which helps with their breathing. It helps with digestion. It helps with their self-esteem. Imagine sitting in your desk chair and you're always bent over and you can't see the person in front of you. You're always staring at their shoes, but with a custom-made wheelchair, it can pull you up, help you to sit better, and you can look at your friend in the face. So, yeah,
Very nice.
it's one of my favorite programs. But of course, my all-time favorite is the Service Dogs program. So where we train our service dogs to help people who have a mobility disability. For children with autism, we are also placing our dogs in schools as well to help students and staff with the stresses that going back to school after COVID. Our wait list for our facility of dogs has greatly multiplied since COVID. And then we also do companion dogs for those people that they just want to have a dog there at home to help them with their everyday tasks at home. They don't want to take them out into public.
Okay.
When someone needs the services of UDS, is it typically the families that are reaching out, and then the follow-up to that, what is their experience like when they reach out? What can they expect in return from UDS to get that process started?
The first place that we would send you to is a wonderful team. It is our resource center. And it could be a family member calling about mom or dad that needs to have some extra services or just extra help. It could be the client themselves that are calling in and they don't know where to go, where do they start the process, how can they get set up. So it would be our resource center that they would start with. And that team there, if there is anything to know about any of the programs that are state funded, anything across the whole entire Pennsylvania Commonwealth, they know it. So they can get you set up, filling out the right paperwork, getting in touch with the right people to get you on board and get you set up so that you can still stay at home, still live an independent life as much as possible.
Very good. Very good. So where do you get like your dogs from? How do you bring them on board? And what does that process look like to train them to be the appropriate service animal for the solution that's needed?
Really good question, Jeff. So we work with multiple different breeders. And UDS Service Dogs is also accredited with Assistance Dogs International. It's a 5-year process for us to be accredited with them. So that opens up a very special breeding program within ADI that we can tap into. This group is making sure that the right dogs are being bred. That could mean for the right temperament, for body structure. Some of our clients are big people. They're tall. They've got a little bit of muscle. They need a big dog that they can help them with their mobility issues, as well as are they easy to train? Are they catching on to the tasks easily? So all those things are put into thought. And so once we bring a puppy into the program at 8 weeks old, we bring our little squirts in, and they stay locally with us for 2 months, and they will stay with a puppy home. And during that time, they're still coming into our training center here once a week for training. And then there's also online things that we have to do with our puppies, different training options that we take advantage of. And then when the puppies are 4 months old, we send them off to prison. And oh, yep. So that right there, that is our wee little Martin. Martin was one of our buddies that had a career change, and he is now living in Clearfield County. Martin is a wonderful, beloved family pet and goes to work with his person every day.
Yep.
So when the dogs are 4 months old, they go off to Holtsdale State Correction Institute, and they will live with 2 inmate handlers for about 6 to 8 months. And our inmates are actually doing some of our initial training for the dogs. I love this part of the program. What the healing that's happening on both sides of the fence, the healing for the inmates, they know they've done something wrong. This is their way of giving back to society from taking something from them. Healing for their families as well. We've had stories of some of the inmates, their children didn't want to come and visit dad in prison because they were embarrassed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if you can imagine, visiting day in a prison is really noisy, very chaotic. And the one inmate walked in with his dog that he was training, and everybody's just like, oh, there's a dog. And so a hush goes over the room, and he brings up all the children and has them sit in a little semicircle in front of him. And he does a little mock demo saying what he was training the dog for.
That's cool.
Yeah. And his daughter was sitting in there, and she bumped the girl next to her, or the child next to her, and said, you see that guy up there, that dog trainer? That's my dad. And this is the same child that I don't want to go see dad in prison. This is embarrassing. And then she claimed him. That's my dad. So it was just a real huge bonding, healing bonding moment for them. But then when the dogs are about a year old, they come back to us here in Lancaster. They will stay with their intermediate home for about another 6 months. And they will, again, come to weekly training classes. Once a month, we do a standard outing field trip for the dogs the second Saturday of every month. So you might see us. We are out and about in Lancaster. We try to expose the dogs to as much as possible as what they're going to be exposed to when they're placed with their people. We take them to the market right downtown Lancaster. We will ride the buses. We go to Strasburg Railroad and have them ride a train. We will go to Penn Cinema and actually have the dogs watch a movie. The things that you just don't think about as an able-bodied person taking a dog into.
Right.
Yeah. And then
that's all intentionally designed to expose them to those environmental things.
Yes.
Where they would likely experience when in the home with their new person.
Exactly. Yep. The grocery stores, the mall. One of our doctor's offices is kind enough to let us come in with all of our dogs on a Saturday morning and do mock visits. So the dogs know what it's like for their person to have to stand on a scale, just to be in an exam room too. So that's very kind and generous of them. We have wonderful business supporters throughout the county that have just caught the vision of what we want to do with our dogs to help the people in our area. So when the dogs are about 18 months, they come to us right here at UDS. We have a kennel downstairs where we can house up to 12 dogs. And this is a chance where the trainers can work with the dogs on a daily basis. pulling out the strengths of them. Do they like to do the tasks, the retrieval, the pushing, the pulling, the tugging, or are they more of a snuggle bug that we would probably go ahead and start to train that dog for a child who has autism, um, and making sure that that individualized training process for that dog will meet the long end range of what we want the dog to do. Are they going to go with a person who has a mobility disability, a child with autism? Do they have really good skills, but their work drive is in neutral? Well, then we'll probably put them in with a facility. So placing them in a school where they can kind of have a little bit more of a less stressful situation, but they're still working and still making a difference.
They're more in that example, they would be more of a response driven service dog than
Yes,
a proactive driven service dog.
correct.
That's a fair way to say it.
Yes, that is the perfect way to say that. If you don't mind, I'm going to coin that from you. So
I'll send the bill.
awesome.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah. So one of our one of our facility dogs, who is at the Elizabethtown area high school, his name is Murphy. And Murphy is the perfect example, great skills, but Murphy's work drive is in neutral. If you can give him a command, he'll look at you like, well, let me check my schedule and get back to you. See when I can get that in. But every morning, Murphy is there in the area where all the students come in, and his handler will tell you, unfortunately, Murphy just likes to lay there, but his tail is always wagging. So he's
Right.
laying there, he's watching the students come in. She said a lot of the students actually will go straight down onto the floor and love up on Murph, go to their homes, get their days going. His main handler is one of the counselors there at the school. So he has a big, I call it a snout pillow bed, where it has the big bolster going around the edge. And she said most of the time Murph is just laying there on his bed. The students will come in and talk to her. And she said sometimes Murphy will stand up. Sometimes he'll just look at them and say, oh, but the times that the students have come in where they're struggling with any number of things,
Right.
goes straight down to Murph. But the one student, she had lost her father in an accident. She came in and went straight to Murph, and Murphy sat up, which in and of itself, I'm told is a miracle. Sat up and started licking her and just showering her with kisses, which is a not Murph thing. As she's crying, he's kissing away her tears. And she looked at Amy and said, that's exactly what I needed. So
wow.
just powerful things.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like the time period is about 18 months to 2 years.
It takes about 2 years to train one of our dogs. Yeah. So from
Yeah.
8 weeks to about 2 years old, and that's when they're placed. At that point in time, we will look at our client list to see what the needs are for the different clients. We'll see what dogs are coming ready, and we'll start to pair them at that point in time. Our waiting list can be anywhere from 2 years to 3 years until they're placed with a dog.
I was just going to ask about the wait list, but
Mhm.
a follow-up question to that would be, can you program the dog is not the right word, but
Mhm.
do you train dogs based on a person on the wait list, or do you just kind of know we generally need to have this many dogs for the independent living program, and we generally need this many dogs for the autism program? How does that work?
Yeah. So when our puppy comes in, honestly, we don't know if they're going to be more for a child with autism or if they're going to be placed with a mobility disability person. So they go through the same type of training in the initial phases,
Right.
learning their basic skills. Then once they come to the kennels here, the girls can see what's the joy in the job for them. So do you like to do a lot of retrieval? So we're going to put you aside. Let's say Owen, who was just matched with his person. Owen loves to retrieve, to bring. He is just that sweet, dedicated worker dog. So he has just been placed with a gentleman who is in a wheelchair. But looking at the strength of the dog, that's when we look at our list to say, okay, John Smith is in a wheelchair and he needs a dog that is going to go and do those tasks for him, turn the light switches on for him, help him to pull off his socks or his a jacket, helping him to get dressed, to get undressed, maybe going into the next room and grabbing a bottle of medication for him and bringing it to him, opening up the refrigerator and bringing a bottle of water to him to take the medication. And silly things, if John would sneeze, your dog can go and get a tissue for you and bring you the tissue, and then take the tissue and throw it in the trash can for you as well.
So my mind's kind of blown right now.
Me too.
So, because I know dealing with the knee surgery that I have a buffet of medications at the present. They're weaning down, but that's just the lens I'm looking through. I would imagine if a dog is placed in the situation you said this recent gentleman just placed, I would imagine he has more than one medication would be an assumption. But let's say that's true. How is the home set up where I forget the dog's name you referenced, but and maybe you don't want to because I don't want to violate any laws or anything.
I can say the dog's name. I just can't say the gentleman's name.
Of course. So what's the dog's name?
Owen.
So how does the dog Owen, the service dog Owen, know what medication to go get? How do we set that up?
They would go ahead and they would work with the gentleman to say, what are your daily medications? What are you on? And then they'll probably do one of those pill things where it's the Monday through Sunday, and then Owen can come and go and get that set for him.
Okay.
Yeah. So
once a week you fill up the pill box and then the dog brings it.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, the girls will definitely address those kinds of issues, and our trainers are phenomenal. It is. I mean, I call them our magicians, because what they're able to do, it's just magic. It really is. But for them too, it's a lot of knowledge. It's years and years of always learning. And the service dog industry is always changing, always becoming better. We do a lot of positive training with our dogs. A lot of good buddy. Yes is our magic word. They know that they get a treat once they hear that yes word. A lot of positive, because we want them to know that working is fun.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, when you and I go to work, we want it to be fun. So we want it to be fun for our dogs as well.
Yeah. And you said that they are trained, like, go to the fridge and get a bottle of water.
Yes. So
have any of your members taught it to go to the fridge and get a can of beer?
I get that question a lot. So they can get it, but because they're not ramp certified, they just can't serve it to you. But they can give it to you. You just have to open it yourself. So
very good.
Jennifer, how does it work? I know a lot of times when service dogs are in training, they have the vest on and it says do not pet and things like that. Typically when a dog is working, are they always wearing that sort of thing, or is there a period of time after training that they can then be pet? Because, like, for example, I'm not in the service dog industry, and my familiarity is really just seeing them in a public place, like in the mall, and you see a service dog, and I see sometimes where they're being petted and loved on by people that are passerby, or other situations where they're not allowed to be touched. So maybe you could speak a little bit to that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And thanks for bringing that up. We always tell our people, when I'm out with Nova or with one of our puppies in training, the rule of thumb is really just don't pet them. You can always say to the person, wow, what a beautiful dog, or some kind of kind word. Or, of course, your little kids, and we know they see a puppy and they're like, oh, boy, I want to pet the puppy. So I tell our parents, especially with children, always ask the person. We let that liberty up to the client. So our one client who is in a wheelchair and has a dog, he's very specific. When he's out in public with his dog, please don't pet him. He's working. That client will have muscle spasms, so he needs his dog to watch him to know he's starting to spasm, so that the dog will actually crawl up onto his lap to put pressure on the muscles to help the spasming to stop.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, and that's one of my favorite teams. And they work out at Penn Cinema, so you've probably seen them out there, and they're just a phenomenal team. And some of our clients, they don't mind. If you want to pet them, that's okay. We always let that up to our clients. You could always ask just know that if they say no, please don't touch. It's not that they don't like you. It's because they need their dog to pay attention to them.
Right. Yeah. There's functions that the dog's doing you might not even be aware of.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah. I
especially
know.
a medical assistance dog, which we do not train
That's what I was
for.
just gonna say.
Other groups do, but a dog who's watching for somebody who might have a seizure, they need to be pinpoint on that person.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've talked at length about dogs. I
Mhm.
have one more question about dogs, but
Okay.
obviously UDS does a lot of other programs. So I want to dig into that. But
Mhm.
we have in our notes here about we talked about pups in the classroom and disability and autism. But how do people? You do something about volunteering with dogs. Is that right?
Yes.
So what's
We
that all
are
about?
we are always looking for volunteers. So if you have a desire that you want to come and work with the dogs, there's also opportunities to work with the service dog program that don't involve a dog. We do have one client that she's allergic, but she loves the program. So she comes
Okay.
and she'll help us at events. She's phenomenal, helping get people through a registration. Like she'll be there for our up and coming golf tournament, working at the registration table, helping people get through there. She is a master of organization. We appreciate that. There's also opportunities that if you want to take a dog with you, we can send, after you've been trained, you take a dog home for the weekend. So you can
Wow.
pick them up on Friday afternoon and return them to us on Monday morning. So those are for our kennel dogs that live here Monday through Friday. We don't have staff here over the weekends, so we depend on volunteers that are willing to open up their homes for a weekend
Hmm.
and bring the dog home with them. We also have opportunities if you want to come and join your work day and walk any of our kennel dogs, give them a bath, play with them. There's a lot of different
Yeah.
things that our volunteers can do here. There's also volunteer opportunities with our adult enrichment group over there, going in and teaching a class. Um, do you have a special skill that you like to do? Are you an artist and you want to go and teach them how to do a painting? Or are you a rock collector? You want to go in and do a science class for them? There's a lot, and our gala is coming up here in May. We need volunteers for our gala to come and help run prizes around. The multitude of things for our gala night is extensive. So if people want to come to the Lancaster Country Club for an evening, we will give you a nice polo to wear, and you can keep that and as our thanks.
Nice. You really touched on a theme that we talk about often here, and that's our job with the show is to put some spotlight on UDS and all the other great charities that come on, and really drive home to those watching and those listening that everybody has time, everybody has talent, and everybody has treasure. And
Mhm.
so time being your time, you would volunteer, taking a dog home for the weekend, helping at the gala, helping with registrations. I think I heard volunteers can engage with the people you serve. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's the time aspect of things. The talent thing, maybe it's carpentry and helping to build those ramps,
Yep.
putting grab bars in the home.
Hmm.
I know with my knee surgery, that was a whole grab bars was a big thing.
Yes.
Me with the age I am, it was less of an issue because I didn't necessarily need grab bars and pull bars, but
Hmm.
there's that talent aspect of things. Just one example that you might learn, and then naturally treasure. So is that where sponsor a dog comes into play? Can people um,
Hmm.
sponsor an animal as they go through that near 2 year or 2 year approximate journey?
They can. We're always looking for corporations that are willing to sponsor one of our dogs. It takes about $25,000 to $30,000 to put a dog through the program. That includes, yeah, it's staggering. That's why we do a lot of fundraising because the government doesn't give us any money to
Yeah,
help with anything. So
yeah,
we rely on our sponsors, people who are willing to come and grasp that vision of changing lives through the power of four paws and a wet nose. We have corporate sponsorships, and we also have. I know my family, we sponsor dog food for one of our dogs that are in training. I don't have $25,000, $30,000, just laying around, but I can do $60 a month, to
right.
feed the dog. There's a lot of different giving opportunities. One of our wonderful new friends to the program just sponsored one of our kennel dogs while they're here. That's $1,500. Um, and that will cover all of the food, the vetting costs for the dog while they're in the kennels here. There is a nice plaque that we put on the kennel door for that specific dog. We keep them updated on, say, it would be Owen. We let that kennel sponsor know during Owen's training, hey, this is what he's doing. Oh, wow, Owen just, mastered this skill. This is so cool. Owen's now going to be placed with a person who is in a wheelchair. We're so excited. And so they get to follow that part of the journey with the dog. A lot of different giving levels, a lot of different opportunities there as well. There's a spot on our website for different types of sponsorship available as well.
Yeah. Why don't we bring the website up? Because I know maybe I'll let Ben ask this one about, you have a ton of information on your site.
Yeah.
And maybe we can navigate through that a little bit.
Sure. So I'll be happy to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here. So with here, if you would go under services, that shows you all the different services that UDS can do for you. And you can see everything. There's a resource center there. Do you know you need help, but you don't know how to get it? You're going to go to our resource center. And that walks you through exactly what you need to do to get a hold of us. And what kind of questions, a lot of the frequently asked questions.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's great you have that, because I think a lot of folks could see what you do and be, well, I have a family member that's a fit, or I know somebody's fit, or maybe I'm a fit.
Mm-hmm.
But where do you begin? It's a really great place to start.
Exactly.
Start with that.
Yes, some of our other, and this is our independent living. So the story of this dear woman here, she's talking about having someone coming in and helping her and trying to get that started, the different things that she needed. I believe she also had some home modifications done as well. Just a really beautiful story. There's a lot of really special videos there. One of the ones that I really love is from our Pups in Prison program, where they actually interviewed one of the inmates who had been released, and Carson, who is at Mechanicsburg School District, and their story together of John actually training him and that impact that Carson had on his life while he was serving in prison. And then the impact that Carson is now doing in the school district there in Mechanicsburg. Somehow I will warn you to a lot of the videos there. You will need a tissue. They definitely pull up the heart. And just showing the heart too of what UDS, what our heart is for helping people across, Pennsylvania. So we were founded by Reverend Schneider, and who had a friend, Anna Mae, who wanted to go see Mary Poppins. Anna Mae was in a wheelchair and she couldn't get into the movie theater. So it all started from that story. And here we are all these years later, and we're serving not just Lancaster County anymore, but the whole entire Commonwealth.
That's an amazing story. Also on the website there, one of the tabs at the top, you've got a news and events tab. I know you've got a big event coming up that you'd like to talk about, but there's some other things on there too. Talk a little bit about some of the upcoming events.
Well, the next one that we have coming up on April the 16th is going to be our Bring It Back Bingo for benefiting the Service Dogs program. That is going to be over at the Lancaster Farm and Home Center. Doors open at noon. The first game starts at 1:30. It is a pick your own prize bingo. We have some wonderful prizes that local businesses have been generous enough to donate to us. And then we also have, there will be raffle prizes there as well, a 50-50, and tickets are available. Right there, the information is right there on the website for you if you'd like to buy your ticket. You can get them at the door, but if you are free and you want to play bingo, I would encourage you to get them ahead of time. We do tend to sell out. So,
Good for you. It's great.
And then in May is our gala. It is the biggest fundraiser that we hold here at UDS, and our development team, Larry Aubrey and his team, do a phenomenal job of this every year. I honestly don't know how they pull it off. Just really good insights as to what we do. And our people that come to know, this is what I'm sponsoring, this is what I'm helping to do. So he's wonderful meal is set aside. Some of his silent auction items and auction item Live auction items as well are, oh my goodness, yeah. He's a wizard. I love Larry. Um, then in August, we are having our golf tournament that will be over at Cross Gates. They're in Millersville. This is the second year we're out at Cross Gates. Last year, they were absolutely phenomenal. We had a lot of really good feedback, so we decided to go back to them again. And tickets are available for that as well. 18 rounds of golf. Last year, we actually had a professional female golf player came, and for a donation, she would help you with your shot. And
Oh, cool.
she was very kind and very good and very beautiful. We were very excited to have her there with us. And it's just a fun day too. And then lunch is served as well.
Very good. Very good.
That's great. All that information on signing up and everything is at udservices.org, correct?
Correct. And then just go to news and events, click on that drop down banner, and that'll give you a list of all the different events that are coming up.
Very good. So we've talked a little bit about ways that people can help. Anything that we haven't touched on for
You
ways
guys are
people are able to help?
you guys are really thorough. If
We
there's
try.
and your man behind the curtain back there, he's doing a fantastic job too. Thanks, Chris. There's a lot of different opportunities, not just for the volunteers, but I know that sometimes people are just like, oh, I have like maybe 10 extra dollars. What would $10 do? I want to give it to something. There is a shopping store there on our list. $10 will buy a bag of treats for training treats for the dogs. We also have our Amazon wish list is there as well. And if people want to do something tangible that way. And then Noah and I will actually go out into the community, and there have been businesses that they will gather items for us. We send them a list, paper towels, trash bags, dishwashing detergent, laundry soap, things that you don't necessarily associate with a dog, but things that we use here in our kennel, dishwashing, the dishwasher tablets, because, we have a dishwasher so that we make sure that the dog's bowls are sanitized. We wash their blankets and make sure that everything's nice and clean for them, keeping them healthy as well. And then we also have other needs, peanut butter. There for a while, we needed peanut butter because, it's the same for me. I love peanut butter. Peanut butter is crack for me. It's even more so for a dog. So it's a high value treat that we can put into a little bottle and just squeeze out a little bit to get them to do something that we want. So sometimes there are things that if people want, that's my Charlie Bear.
Charlie Bear's got the right jersey on. I love it.
Yes, he's also, so Charlie is actually staying with my family until he goes off to prison. He leaves in a week on Tuesday, and he's been a delight to have. A lot of different things that you can do here for not just for the service dogs program, but for the agency across the board as well. So if you have a talent, if you have a time, treasure, we can use your heart, we can use your hands. We can use your time.
I think often people think that a donation has to be this big grand thing, but just somebody has $10-20, whatever it is, to donate, they can go on your website and buy a bag of treats for the dog. I think that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Small impacts go a long way.
They really do. Hey, it takes many strokes to fell big oaks. So everything counts. One of our gentlemen that was in prison that was released, every once in a while, he'll send us $25. He's like, I'm sorry, I know it's not enough. But because he was training one of the dogs, he saw the impact that these dogs have. He still wants to give. So he gives when he can. So, and yes, and right there you will see we do have a kennel cat. That is Harris. And if you would like to help Harris with his food, and he serves a very special place here as well. Some of our dogs are going to be placed with people who have cats in their home. We need to expose them to.
Yeah, so the pups need to see what the cat is and
exactly. So
how they operate.
Yeah, and let me tell you, he is all sass. He walks through, he will pick the opportune time to walk through one of the training classes, right smack dab in the middle, and he just waltzes right down through. And it's kind of like that cat walking by all of the German shepherds on that meme. That's Harris.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Funny.
So,
That's funny.
yep. And then we also do a virtual 5K that starts the 1st of September. It goes up until Thanksgiving Day. You can run where you want, when you want. Now that you have a brand new knee, Jeff, maybe I'll see you on our registration.
Yeah,
So,
maybe.
yep. Pick out
Yep.
where you want to go, when you want to go, and how you want to do it. If you don't want to run, that's okay. If you want to walk, I kayaked it the one year. Other people do an elliptical. They'll do a stationary bike, whatever you want to do. Yeah. Oh, so that's Charlie and Nova for our big. That's a
I
Charlie's
like it.
for our
Charlie's
Super
jersey's a
Bowl.
little big.
Just a little bit, yeah. And poor Nova, yeah. Nova's wearing the right shirt there for you too, Jeff. So just so you know, our program
Always a
director.
fan.
Yep, our program director is a huge Eagles fan, so we made sure that
Love it.
we had
Love
Eagles shirts for him. Yeah.
Well,
So,
it would be dog abuse if you gave any other jersey.
oh, I mean, heaven forbid it be a Cowboys. Oh my.
This would be terrible.
Yes.
Terrible. So, Jennifer, this has been a lot of fun. We really appreciate all the good that you're doing. We say it often, we'll say it again. If you have that time, that talent, or that treasure, if you're a couple, you're kind of looking at each other in the evenings and on the weekends, like, what do we do? We've been looking at each other for all these years. Maybe putting volunteer opportunities back into your schedule is a good thing you could do with your time. If you've got that money, obviously any charitable organization could use it. UDS does a lot of great. We talked a lot about dogs, but they really do impact the people that they serve tremendously well. And then those talents, if you can help build ramps, if you can help to clean the kennels, help to be a foster home, obviously that's a bigger, more involved volunteer process, but those are the things you could do. So, Jennifer, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us, guys. We really appreciate it. Nova is, thankfully you can't hear her. She's softly snoring right now. So
Nappy.
Yeah,
she's
time.
grabbing her nappy.
That's right. Love it. Love it.
Well, Jennifer, are you ready for the connection cocktail?
Oh,
I'm ready.
Yeah,
Hit me.
you're out of practice, man.
I am.
Oh, do you want to do question number one?
You better do it because I'll ruin it.
Okay. All right. So, Jennifer, we ask most every guest this. Your favorite thing to do in Lancaster?
There's so many awesome things to do in Lancaster. My gosh, we're so fortunate to live in this area. I really love going to Lidditz and just walking around town. I mean, where would you want to go where they have chocolate? I mean, it's a win-win. So, and the history that's there at Lidditz as well, at the Moravian Church, and all the great food that's there, the shopping. Yeah, I love Lidditz. It really is the coolest little American town ever.
There you go.
So you visit the Chocolate Street in Lidditz, and I visit the Whiskey and Bourbon Street in Lidditz. Whatever one is 772 there. Because there's a couple.
I make my rounds.
Okay, there you go. Good. So your favorite annual event that you like to go to?
I love going to Fall Fest. So
cool.
I am a country junkie. I love doing Fall Fest and going out there.
Very good.
We were a sponsor at Fall Fest many moons ago.
We were. If you like country, you should. A friend of mine is his career's kind of taken off. Cody Tyler Cody Tyler and Gypsy Convoy. You should check him out. He's on Spotify.
Cody,
like
very good.
Gypsy Convoy.
Cody Tyler and Gypsy Convoy.
Okay, yep. Cody Tyler.
He's not Morgan Wallen country. He's a little more Merle country.
That's okay.
But,
so,
okay.
That is okay.
Jennifer likes it all.
I do. I'll listen to just about anything.
Yep.
So, but yeah, last year they had Jimmy Allen there, and he's really hot now. So, I mean, there he was, and right in our own backyard. So they do a fantastic job every year, and have a lot of different businesses out there as well.
And it's coming back to Overlook Park, I think.
It is coming back to Overlook this year. Yeah.
Nice.
So that'll be exciting.
It will. Yep.
That summer that we sponsored that was, remember how miserable
it was? Muddy. Yeah, it was very muddy.
Gosh. It was rained and oh my gosh. Yeah. Anyway, great concert. Just a little wet. All right, last question. Let's say you have friends and family out of town. You're bringing them in, showing off Lancaster, let's say. What part of Lancaster do you like to impart on friends and family? Culture or a specific place or something you like to do? What would that be?
Again, I like sending them over to Lidditz because it's a really easy walkable town with a lot of different things, a lot of really up and coming microbreweries as well. But right down in the heart of Lancaster, my God, the historical Sections of Lancaster are phenomenal. And of course, the microbreweries and the great eating, all of the art that is down there. My daughter is in college for art right now, so she likes sending all of her art peeps down into First Friday. She's like, man, if you can get down here, it's just awesome. Yeah, there's so much to do in Lancaster. You really have to keep coming back to experience it all. Um, but I also like doing outdoorsy things as well. So I like hiking the trails that are here, um, going over to see the snow geese as well. Yeah, it's remarkable.
Very good. Cool.
Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for your time, and thank you, Nova, for her time.
Yes, thank
I
you
hope
so
her
much for
appointment
having
goes
us.
well.
See if I can
She has
round.
to she has to run off for an appointment here soon, as we understand. So,
Here. Whoop. I got her. Nova, do you want to say goodbye to the
you make
guys?
one last appearance.
Whoops. Oh, 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 there we go. Come here, Nova. You want to say goodbye to the guys? Come on, up. I'll tell you what, I'll make it easy for you.
Yeah.
There you go.
There she is.
There she is. Hi, Nova.
Hi guys, thanks for having us. Thanks for all you do.
Bye, Nova.
Hey, thanks for everything you're doing for promoting the businesses here in Lancaster and the charities as
thank you.
well. We really appreciate you guys.
Yep. Thank you. And thanks for your time. And thanks for joining us, and have a wonderful day.
Yes, you too. Take care,
All right.
guys.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
That was a lot of fun. I mean, you always love dogs.
It's always
Right.
great
They're the
having a furry
best.
friend join.
It is.
I mean, Jennifer was great too, but dogs, Poppy, whoever.
Yeah, the people can, and unfortunately, Poppy,
Poppy,
maybe you caught it out there. We shared it on our page. Unfortunately, Poppy, the ground hog, passed away,
Mhm.
unfortunately, that we had on the show. So
Yep.
that's very sad. So, Betsy, we send our condolences out to you if you pick up on the show later. But I can imagine that that's a thing that happens. It, of course, happens, but, never easy when you lose a pet.
Mm-mm.
So, especially an Emmy Award winning pet,
That's right. Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
but they're all important,
Yep.
whether your pet wins an award or not. So, anyway, if you'd like to be a show on the guest,
Put that on the blooper reel.
that was the tramadol talking right there. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, what's up, Jonna Green? How are you? If you'd like to be a guest on our show, you go to lancasterconnects.com/guest, fill out that form, and we'll get us started and get you scheduled up.
You want to do a sleep better tip? A nappy better tip?
Well, that's my tip. Yeah, I mean, it is good to take naps, but if you're going to take naps throughout, splitting AirPods, that's what we're doing. It's not that we're cheap or anything. It's just if we both have them in, it
messes everything up.
becomes hard to hear. So, at any rate,
It's method to the madness.
yes, my Sleep Better tip. We will send you a copy of our Sleep Better book, not the all marked up one. That's my podcast copy, but a fresh copy is over my shoulder. We'll mail it to you. Go to gardenersmattressandmore.com/sleep-better right there on the screen. I believe it's in our show notes as well. We'll mail you a copy for free because we do want you to wake up happy. We do want you to sleep better. On the topic of nappies, yes, it is good to take a nap throughout the day. Try to be no more than 20, 30 minutes. You get deeper than 30 minutes in, that deeper sleep cycle kicks on, and then you wake up and you feel groggy and you're not happy. So 20, 30 minutes is a good time, recommended time for the nappy. There you go.
I think you should trademark the nappy.
Should wear a t-shirt.
Nappy.
Nappy. That's right.
All right. Testimonial time. We had Steve make a purchase within the last week here and reviewed us on Google. He said his wife and I decided to shop for an adjustable bed. First stop was gardeners. Phil and Drew were so nice, helpful, and seemed genuinely concerned that we get exactly what was best suited for our needs, that we didn't try anywhere else. One stop, right? We took a week to think it over and discuss it yesterday and made the purchase without any hesitation or qualms. Phil and Drew, they were both there and are gracious as always. I can't imagine ever going back to hopping from business to business, hoping for a better experience. I was getting tripped up between the hopping and hoping. one here.
Like me and the guest in the show.
That's right. That's right.
You show on the guest.
I thought this was pretty cool. These two guys were so professional that we originally thought they were the owners. I mean, that's like, as owners,
That warms my heart.
that's the best compliment staff could have.
Yep.
Or somebody could have for our staff. The fact that as a consumer, they saw the effort that was put into the sales process and the care and concern and everything that the customer was going through shopping for a mattress, that they thought that they were the owner. So that's awesome. So thank you, Phil. Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Steve,
our
for the
customer.
kind words. But that's how we help folks.
That's right.
Treat you like family. Treat you as we wish to be treated ourselves.
There
Is
you
that
go.
how you say it? It's golden rule. Golden rule.
Golden rule
Golden rule.
and the golden rule of mattresses.
There you go.
All
I
right.
like it.
I think that's the show.
Well,
Oh.
prize it later.
I am rusty. See?
You asked me if I followed all the steps.
Yeah.
While you were
I'm
gone,
just
I
like
tried.
ruining it here.
Nathan, what's up? I saw you said, what's up, Lancaster Connects. Thank you for watching, as always.
Yeah, I'm deciding between that one and the other one over there. It's hard to make
There's
a
Steve
difference.
Goebel.
Steve Goebel says, bring a bottle of whiskey. So that was in reference to when the service dogs were going to get the medications or the bottle of water or retrieving. I appreciate whiskey. Steve appreciates whiskey. Moderation is always important. I think I should say that.
And probably not with medication.
No, although it was fun a couple times. Just saying. But Steve, congratulations. You know the routine. Steve's a longtime fan, listener, and supporter. And we appreciate you. So come on in anytime and pick up your choice of prizes or prize from your choices. Right?
Something like that.
Sure.
I think they know the routine.
They know the routine. You're
Yeah.
getting for a couple of weeks here. This is the version of Jeff you're going to get on the show. So that's that. All right.
I think
Cool.
that's the show.
I think that's the show. Good to be back.
Till the next connection.
Till the next one. Till the next connection. See you next week.